Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, 1 second. Welcome back to another pre-market watch list here today. So thank you guys once again for tuning in. Appreciate it. Good morning, Jeremy. So once again, thank you guys for tuning in. Today is going to be an interesting day. We have a lot of stocks to talk about. Good analysis coming forth. LFIN. Everyone's talking about LFIN. We're going to go over LFIN. Don't you worry about that. Not going to the club. This is my club. This is mi casa. Right. So we're not going to the club, but we are going to be trading. What's up, Mr. Cornut? So we're going to talk about LFIN. We're going to talk about NETE, and we're going to talk about Nvidia, Tesla, Facebook in the market. So we have kind of not really two penny stocks because technically they're not below $5, but we're going to treat them the same as a penny stock, right? So we're going to have some good stuff to look at here. I'm going to keep that up over there 1 second. Right. Cool. So hopefully everybody had a good trading day yesterday. I'm going to wait for a few more people to get crawling in here before we go. So hopefully you guys had a good trading day. I ended up losing a couple $100, but it is what it is, right? So some news that you guys may want to hear about. I did meet with the gentleman. I don't know if I told you guys about this, but I know a guy that's been trading options for about 20 years. So I had him here yesterday. We had about a 5-hour long meeting all about options trading and the different strategies and all that cool stuff. So in the near future, we will have our options trading available in our course and then into our live trading room. And we may even go as far as having a completely separate live option trading room throughout the day. So that's going to be cool. I'll keep you guys posted on that. But other than that, let's get going. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson. All right, so we're going to get going here. Let me start sharing the screen. And there we go. All right, that's the one. All right, so first things first, we're going to start here. We're not going to start on LFIN, but we're going to start here on first things first. We'll start with Facebook. I'm going to go through this process with you. All right, so let's start on Facebook. We're going to completely take off all the drawings that I already have, and we're just basically going to go from scratch on this, all right? So first, let's start in a longer time frame. Whenever analyzing something, you always kind of want to start in a longer time frame and get the big picture first, all right? So based off of the yearly chart on Facebook, that yearly chart will tell us that we have support, strong support at 150. We know that, and I've said it the other day, that we've bounced off that level multiple times, right? We definitely are in a bounce area. We do know that Facebook had all the negative news. We do know that that news and that investigation is still going on, and that could still further negatively impact Facebook. But until really something new comes of the data breach at Facebook, I really see that Facebook's not going to really, I don't really see it dropping too much more until some new news comes out about that investigation. Does it have, I don't know if there's news this morning. I didn't check. They may have just updated some more news without me noticing it. Let's see. Is this news today? So there might be some, yeah, you got to read the news. But here's the deal. We know that Facebook has some support right here around the 150 area. Now, if we come over here, so we look at it this way, we have support down at 150, right? And if you zoom in on the yearly chart, you'll see that we did successfully break through the 9 moving average on the daily chart, which is a strong sign. Now, if we come over to the right chart here, let me take this off, and I'll get that off and that off. Oh, sorry. If you come over to this chart here on the right, and we go from, let's say, a 20-day 1-hour chart, or actually might have to do a 180-day. No, we can do it the other way. So if we start on a 20-day 1-hour chart, you'll see that we definitely have resistance up here in the $160 area. Okay, so if you look closely, we've successfully bounced 1, 2, and basically 3 times. Okay, but we've tested the 150 multiple times. All right, so thank you. So here's the deal. We've bounced successfully off the 150. So right now, technicals are telling us that we don't want to go lower for right now, okay? Until maybe this negative news hits, maybe that's what's going to drive the price lower. But for right now, we've attempted 150 multiple times. We don't want to go lower. We've also seen resistance here, 1, 2, and 3 times at the 160 mark. These are purely technicals, all right? So that's on a 20-day chart, right? Now, if we zoom in and we go to like a 5-day chart, you'll see that from 2 days, well, that was yesterday's too, so from 3 days ago, well, I guess you could call it 4 days now. If you go from 4 days ago, you'll see that the stock held support, or sorry, today it's holding support off the 157 whole dollar mark, which is also a previous resistance or a previous pivot point from 4 days ago. So from 4 days ago, and don't worry about the days and this and that. I mean, ideally, all I'm getting at is a couple of days ago, the stock Facebook popped up to a high of 157, and it came down. So it could not break 157. The following day, it gets over 157, and now we're holding support levels of 157. So right now, I'm going to be long biased on Facebook because we are holding 157 support. We've triple bottomed, I think, at 150. Okay. So I think that it's very possible we can see a green day on Facebook as long as it stays above 157 here, right? As long as we can stay above the 157 area on Facebook, I think it's possible that we're going to see a potential move on Facebook, maybe even back to the like a 160, 161 area to at least retest some of those levels. The first level to watch for on Facebook is going to be the 159 mark, because 159 was yesterday's closing price. So if you're long bias on Facebook and you hop in early in the morning and it starts running up, 159 should be kind of your initial first thought that that's where we're going to see some major resistance, because that was yesterday's closing price. And every day, if the stock closed at whatever price, the closing price from the previous day can a lot of times act up as support or resistance, okay? So right now, we got a long bias outlook on Facebook with the first target of probably 159. And then hopefully we can get a run up to 160, 161, right? I think we're in a bullish spot, but again, that doesn't guarantee it's going to go up, all right? Based on technicals, more of a long bias outlook on Facebook today, all right? So hopefully you guys are following along with that. And then next one is going to be Nvidia. Well, actually, we'll talk about Tesla first, okay? We're going to be short bias on Tesla. And I'm going to remove these drawings and we're going to start from scratch. All right. So first things first, we're going to have to go back further for Tesla. We're going to have to go all the way back to a 3-year time frame to really get a good idea of Tesla, because over the past year, Tesla's basically just been going, it's just been going up, right? It doesn't really tell us too much. So if we go back on a 3-year time frame with Tesla, you'll see that Tesla did in fact have some previous resistance right in this like 260, 250 area, right? You could kind of see it. It wasn't clear, but it is there. So we started bouncing off of the 250 mark with Tesla, 245, 250, right? And then we squeezed up. So we know that we got some support there around 250s, 245. Now let's go to a yearly chart. On the yearly chart, you'll see that Tesla just went through a 2-day major short squeeze in momentum play to the upside, okay? Huge run up. What do you see here? What do you see next? Well, what I see next is that we have a major resistance zone at the $300 mark, right? from here, right in this area, and all these spots in between are going to be a major resistance zone for the stock Tesla. Okay. And that is exactly why you may have started to see some of, you may have started to see Tesla pull back yesterday. So right now, we're going to go into, let me get over here, we're going to go into a closer time frame, right? And we're going to look at, let's go back to, let's do a 20-hour chart, right? So right now, Tesla has resistance up here at about the 307. If you look at a daily or a 20-day 1-hour chart, you'll see that Tesla stopped out exactly at a previous dump spot right at 306. When Tesla started dumping hard these past couple of weeks, it started at 306, 307. That's exactly where the stock dropped at yesterday, right? After its nice run up, that's where the stock dropped. Right now, some will argue, and even I'm debating it, that it's possible we're in a cup and handle pattern, a really small one, right? Ready? It goes up. Here's the cup, or sorry, the handle, and we could go like that. So we could definitely squeeze up very strong over the 306 area. Over 306, 305, we could see a major squeeze. Now, again, I analyzed this way before, so it's possible some news has come out, and I'm not sure if it has, okay? Teacup, coffee cup, don't know why. No, okay, so there is some news out this morning, but it's really more or less kind of negative news. It's kind of more fluffy negative news, right? So some are arguing that we're entering a bull market for Tesla. Some are saying no, but who cares, right? I don't really pay attention too much to what they have to say. So now let's look at just let's get in on a 5-day, 5-minute chart. So here's the deal. Tesla's gone on a major run for the past couple days. It started gapping down the day off of the 306 resistance. Right now, it's battling to get back there. You can see that there's no news recently. It's 8:53 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The most recent news release, that I can see here for Tesla is at 7:46, and it states that why this Tesla car shopper sped away from the Model 3, blah, blah, blah. Basically, some fluff news, okay? So it's arguable that we might be in a cup and handle teacup pattern, that we're getting ready to go long over 306 and squeeze to all hell. Or it's very debatable that we're actually just coming back up to retest this 306 area before we dump really hard, right? Before we start going down. So right now, in my honest opinion, I am short bias. I have a short bias outlook on Teslas. And the reason I do is because if you look at the daily chart over here, right, look at how big this squeeze was. I mean, it went from 250 to 306. It moved $56 in 2 days. 2 days, it moved $56. That's huge, okay? That's really big. Or $50, who cares? Something around there. Right, so that's a really big move for 2 days. So in my opinion, considering we're up towards 306 resistance, it's not, in my opinion, it makes more sense to be short bias. This thing could keep running, but based on technicals, it doesn't make sense for it to keep running until we have some sort of pullback, right? Some sort of pullback. So right now, definitely have a short bias outlook on Tesla, okay? Now, it's very possible that we're going to come down here, right? We're already below, yesterday's high, so it's very possible we're going to come down to retest this 290 area. And why do I pick 290? Well, if you look at, I believe it was is it a 5-day, or is it maybe a 20-day? It was a 20-day, no. So the reason I would pick 290 is that was the previous, let me go to the 5-day chart. That was like the previous days, not previous days, but 2 days ago, that was like the high, right? 290 should be, at least test 290, because, if Tesla wants to come down, right, it could come all the way down to retest the high of that candle right there. So that'd be right at about 290. And 290 is the next big psychological support level, 295 and 290. So right now we got a short bias outlook on Tesla unless it breaks through 306 with with steam, essentially. All right. So that's on Tesla. Right now, I'm short bias on it. It could squeeze up like crazy over 306. But for right now, I am kind of short bias. I want to be short bias. It looks bullish right now, but it could easily just dump, right? Could easily dump. So I'm a little bit short bias on that. And now we're going to cover Nvidia. Okay, what time is it? 8:57. We're doing good. Nvidia, kind of good. All right, so here's Nvidia. Nvidia, I want to be long biased, but I kind of am neutral on it right now. I'm neutral until the market opens on this one and tells me what it wants to do. All right, so looking at Nvidia on the left chart, so we're over here right now. You can see that Nvidia had a previous resistance here a couple months back. Actually, that was more like 6 or 7 months back. Excuse me. Had a resistance at about what 220, something like that. Yeah, like 220, 219, something like that. Right? Had a resistance, right? That resistance would then become a new support once the stock breaks over it and we can bounce off that level. All right. So looking at this, Nvidia has a support level right on the 220. And if you look, we'll hop back out here. If you look, that's exactly where the stock is starting to kind of find some footing, find some support, and starting to bounce a little bit. Okay. It's had a rough ride these past couple of weeks. We know that most tech stocks have. It's had a rough ride. So we know that we got a support level here at about 220. And if you look, we're starting to bounce around this 220 area once, twice. We dipped below to be bought right back up. Now we're at about the fourth bounce, right? Now let's look at a 5-day chart. So this 5-day chart is telling me that we are in fact right at about some support. We're trying to push higher. But right now, if you look at the news just yesterday, Nvidia got hit with a tweet from Citron Research. And if you don't know who Citron Research is, and if you're very new to the trading game, I recommend that you look up Citron Research. You can follow him on Twitter. He's a very knowledgeable investor. He's more of a short bias trader. Right now, Citron Research is short bias on Nvidia in thinking that it's going to break down past 200. So he thinks it's going to go down to 200 at least. While on the flip side, UBS, where are they at? They were just in. Either way, UBS has kind of, they're thinking Nvidia should have a price target of 250, right? So you have analysts saying 250 price target on Nvidia. You have Citron Research, a really good investor and trader, thinking Nvidia is going down to 200. So you have two major things: analysts saying 250 price target, Citron Research saying 200 price target right now. So you're getting there's a war. So if analysts don't know how to project where they want this thing to go, you have a 250 price target, then you have a $200 price target on a big stock like this. That makes me a retail trader investor wanting to be very neutral on the stock. I don't necessarily want to be long biased right now, and I don't want to be short biased right now. I want to be neutral until I myself, as the trader and retail trader, I want to be neutral until I myself can for sure identify which way it wants to go. Technicals say we're on support. Fundamentals and analysts are saying 250 price target, $200 price target. Retail trader myself, I go, we're on technical support. We should bounce, but with the uncertainty of these analysts, I think for right now, as a retail trader, there's other things that are better to trade, like Tesla, maybe Facebook, maybe the market, maybe the SPY, UVXY, TVIX. We don't always have to be trading. We don't always have to be investing. So for me, Nvidia is more of a neutral trade. I'm more long biased, but I'm going to stay neutral until I can for sure identify a trend on the chart that I like. So for you guys, I'd say Nvidia is more of a neutral trade for right now. But in the long term, I think Nvidia price target of 250 is realistic. But maybe short term, we could see 200, right? Right. So I'm neutral on Nvidia. All right, neutral. All right, let's move to the next one, which is LFIN. LFIN. All right. Let me walk you guys through this so you don't get confused on what's going on. For newer traders and newer investors, you guys may be thinking this is crazy. This is the coolest thing on the planet. But if you don't know what's going on, you're probably going to get crushed. So let me try and break it down. All right. And for newer traders, right, this is appealing. From $8 to 22, oh my gosh, I can make so much money. You could, but this is a very advanced stock to trade. Essentially, if you're not an advanced trader, you haven't been doing it a long time, your best bet is to stay away. You could make money, you can easily lose money. The long story short, you as a newer trader should stay the hell away from LFIN. I can guarantee it. You can be ballsy, you can trade it. I even don't like trading it sometimes, but for newer traders, you guys should stay way clear of LFIN. And I'm not going to go into everything why. It can have large spreads. It's a low float. It can move fast. These are what day traders and we live to trade. But for newer investors trying to get involved in day trading, this is definitely not a stock for you. I don't want to sound mean here and try and veer you away from a stock that's crushing it right now. But again, it's not something to be, it's like playing with fire. It's like playing with fire with no extinguisher, no water, and you're butt naked, right? That's what it's like. It's like playing with fire, butt naked, no water, no fire extinguisher, no phone to call the fire department. All right. So let's talk about it. LFIN, right? If you're not familiar, LFIN's only been on the market for about 4 months. 4 months ago, we had blockchain cryptocurrency news that drove every single stock through the roof. Anytime there was a news release about cryptocurrency or a blockchain, that stock would fly up, right? Well, long story short, LFIN, when they had their IPO, they're a really low float stock. The stock went from $4 to $142 in 2 days. Unheard of, the craziest thing I'd ever seen in my life, all right? Now, what happened was the stock in 1 day went from 142, it got halted and it dumped all the way down to $62. Investors lost a ton of money. So what ended up happening is everybody shorted, short sold. Everybody short sold up here and here and here and here. And then eventually it based out. And then all these short sellers, they squeezed the stock up. All right. And then what happened here was the short sellers piled in again because Citron, the guy I just talked about who tweeted about Nvidia, he tweeted about LFIN, and what happened? Their stock got crushed. It dumped all the way down. And what happened again, like it happened here, is all these short sellers, let me clear that out, all these short sellers from here and here and here, eventually it bottomed out and now they're squeezing it up. And that's what you're seeing. All the shorts right over here, from here, here, they all started to cover up their positions and they're causing the squeeze. And then you have day traders like myself coming in and we're jacking the price up even more. So right now what we're seeing is a short-term long bias trade because of short sellers covering up positions on LFIN and day traders like me and like you guys. And you have stock twits, and then you have warrior trading. You have, all these different trading educational chat rooms and whatnot. Like myself, we're talking about it, and that's creating more hype and more momentum to come into the stock right now. And that's exactly what's happening, right? And so for newer investors, you guys may think that this stock is killing it, but really, this is nonetheless but a simple short squeeze that's not going to last. Eventually, this short squeeze is going to top out and then it's going to dump even harder than when it went up, okay? So for some of you traders, you should be short bias on LFIN. Maybe long bias today, but short bias for sure, all right? And my game plan, honestly, is just to watch it today. If it wants to go up, maybe I'll trade it. We could have a $24 breakout level. But if you're going to trade LFIN, you need to be going in with very, very small size, conservative, make sure you know your stops. And you're going to have your stops be bigger, right? You're not going to get away with the 10 cent, 20 cent stop on LFIN. There's no way, because the spread is 30, 40, 50 cents, sometimes even $1. So your stops are going to have to at least be 50, 60 cents to $1 possibly. So what are you going to do? Take 1,000 shares and have a 60-cent stop loss? That's a $600 loss if you're stopped out. You need to be taking 100 shares, maybe 50, maybe 300, depending on your account size, maybe only 25, 30 shares, right? 100 shares with $1 stop loss. So if you lose 25 bucks. All right. All right. The question you need to ask yourselves is how much can you risk, right? Ask all of you guys in here. We have 333 people watching live on YouTube right now. Let me ask you right now, if right now you guys all decided to go out to dinner, right? In your head, you already have a risk limit set. When any of us go out to eat with a girlfriend, family member, ourselves, and we go out to the bar and we're having a few drinks with some buddies, we all typically have a risk limit set without even thinking about it, because we've been doing it for so long, our whole lives. When we go out, we don't even question it. We already know when we go out that I'll probably end up buying a meal that's $15. I'll get 2 beers. That's probably going to put me at $30. I leave, with $6. I'm going to probably spend about $46 tonight on the weekend. That's my risk limit. I've been doing this for 25 years, however long. I just typically know when I go out, I'm going to expect to spend $50, maybe $60, depending on your capital. How much income do you make? $100 a night may not be expensive to you, but it may be a lot of money for somebody else. So when you go out to eat and stuff like this, you kind of have an idea of what you're going to spend, and that's your risk limit, right? So when you go to trade something like this, you should ask yourself, how much money are you willing to lose? Hence, if you were to go out right now, how much money are you comfortable spending on a new pair of shoes, a new pair of clothes, on dinner? If you can comfortably go spend $100 right now, then you should feel comfortable risking $100 in a stock to potentially make $200 to $300 on that stock today, right? So exactly, depends on how fat your wallet is. And again, there's many factors that go into it, but thinking about risk is as simple as thinking, how much money would you spend if you were to go out tonight right now? Myself, if I go out to dinner, well, if my girlfriend's not with me, then yeah, I save a bunch of money. But of course, she wants to get a bottle of wine and she wants to get all this and all yada, yada, yada. And next thing you know, we're 3 glasses of whiskey deep, and then the drinks are flowing, right? Things happen, right? So you can't get caught up in the moment. You have to stay realistic, okay? So with that being said, everybody should have a risk limit kind of set in mind when they go in there, right? So we don't have time to go over NETE today. I do have to kind of get back here. So that is what we have for you here today, guys. I hope that helps. Hope you guys learned a lot there. So that's all I have for you. So Nvidia, I'm neutral. Tesla, I don't know what Tesla is doing. Let me just take a quick little peek. TSLA. Hold on, let me go back here before you guys hop off. So yeah, Tesla starting to come down a little bit. I'm short bias on that. Nvidia, neutral. Facebook, long bias. Aleph, I'm long bias right now for sure. But just watch out, because in the coming days, this thing's going to crash. It will crash. And you guys know for a fact that I've done stuff like this and say it will crash. Okay, be very careful of that. Newer traders, if you're not advanced, you might as well stay away. If you're not going to listen to that advice, at least listen to this and take very small shares on it and just try and get yourself a win. Okay, just try that. All right. So that's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully that helps. There are no small penny stocks today. You can keep an eye on NETE and LFIN. Essentially, you should treat those as penny stocks. So anyways, yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Please give me a thumbs up on the video, like, subscribe, do all that cool stuff, and then check out the description box below if you want to join into our live trading room, our Facebook group, our chat room, all those things. It's all down below. And then I'll see you guys not tomorrow, but I'll see you on Monday. So take care, stay green, or be red, but not too red.